Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Quick video here. I got that boat with the 40 squared away, moved it over to my side pad. The guy said he'll be in here in a day or so to pick it up. I finished the little 8 horsepower with the boogered up lower unit. Fellow was real happy that I was able to get that going. But in my last video, you might remember in the bed of my little Toyota truck there, I had a little Yamaha, I don't even know what it was, 9.9. It's true. 9.9. And this was one that literally had been thrown on the ground. The tiller arms broke off of it and everything. I pulled the bonnet off of it. Well, first I put the lower unit back on. And I put the bonnet, I took the bonnet off of it, and it just spider webs, moss, everything growing and living in there. So I took the carburetor. Well, first I looked over the engine, and when I pulled it over, literally out of the spark plug holes came rusty looking dust. I pulled it over probably 4 or 5 times, and each time I get a puff of this old rusty looking dust. And so I didn't know, but it felt like it had compression. So I went and got my compression gauge, and it's got these real small, thin spark plugs, small diameter, so I had to put an adapter on my compression tester, and I wasn't sure my seal was great, but the compression was there, so it had pretty decent, almost 100 on each cylinder. So I squirted some tri-flow in the cylinders, and it loosened up a good bit, and I checked the oil in it. It was full of oil, and the oil didn't look bad. So I checked for spark. I had none, so all I did, that ended up being the kill switch, which is all destroyed on the destroyed tiller handle. And the only reason I really put a little effort into this motor, and when I say a little, I mean a little, because I wasn't going to do much, because I just looking at the overall condition. But I have a use for this thing without the tiller handle or tiller throttle. And so I thought, well, it's got compression, let's see what happens. Well, the first thing I did was pop off the carburetor, and I'll move you over here. Shaky time. I took off the carburetor, and hopefully you can see that it was just full of this old white powdery yuck in there. Just, there was no way that was going to work. You can see, and this is after I tapped it out and everything, but it's just the floats, the needle stuck, everything's white corroded. So went to the old bone pile and thought, let's see what I got. This is the motor in question. You can see I got the water running on it. Tiller handles been completely snap it off down in there. The control cables are froze. Got some big old holes, big gouge where it got slammed. I'm guessing that and the tiller handle were probably one of the same. Got a little moss. Had that all over the lower unit. But inside, after I got to looking around, I pulled the kill wire, the white black wire off, which is the kill wire. That didn't look too bad. It had compression. The fuel pump around the back here, I couldn't even, when I would squeeze the bulb, no fuel would come out around from this hose to the carburetor. It was completely plugged with this white powdery crap inside. And so you can see, I don't know if you can see all that rust around the spark plugs, but when I pulled it over, rusty colored dust came out. So I took this off, the little belt cover, put my big half Milwaukee on it, and after I squirted some Tri-Flow, once the dust started coming out, I squirted the Tri-Flow and just spun it over really good. Once I unhooked the bad kill switch in that tiller handle, which you can see is destroyed, I put Tri-Flow in there, spun it over real good, took the fuel pump off, took it apart, cleaned it out. Now I had fuel to here, but I was getting nothing in the carburetor, and you saw what the carburetor looked like. So, needless to say, I wasn't getting anything through that carburetor. Well, I had a carburetor in my bone pile. Wasn't a whole lot better, but it was better. But I just wanted to make, you know, sure this thing was going to run. Let me get you set up here, if I can. That ain't working. I'm going to shake you one more time, probably. You should be able to see it from there, I think. So, that's what we have. And this thing, like I said, if you look at my last video, it came in pieces. But I can choke it with my thumb. I don't think the electronic choke works. And I haven't cleaned this carburetor or nothing. I just took it out of my bone pile, bolted it on, and said we'll go from there. So. He's real strong. Here's a little bit a better angle, I think. Well, not too bad. Yeah. And I'll show you the project I want to use this on in another video. Get this water. But she is a runner. It has a rectifier on it. The bonnet, whatever I did with it. Which will need a, it's got some kind of black goo. I'm guessing it's just old thick mold. But it says 7.3 kilowatts. So it'll charge your battery. And even if I wanted to, I have an electric starter I could throw on here. Which I won't, but good. So the project I'm going to use this on, being that the tiller and the shifter is already broke, I don't want it to have the tiller handle, and I don't want it to have a throttle on a tiller handle. I want it to be, it's going to be a remote shift and a remote throttle that I use this engine for. And I'll show you that project here in a day or two, but it's buried right now and I can't get it out. So once I dig it out, I'll show it to you. But this is perfect for what I need for this project I've been wanting to do. It's absolutely perfect. It pees water really strong, and I'll buy a kit and get that carburetor all done up nice, and I think it'll be a good runner after that, and be a fun little project I'm going to do. But I just wanted to show this was another one that, you know, the carnage came, and why fix it when you can throw it out on the ground? And but anyway, this lady, I don't know where she got my number from. She called me and said, I have a 9.9 horsepower Johnson that it's been sitting in our yard and blah blah blah, and I doubt it would run, but I was wondering if you'd want it for parts. So I went to her place. She gave me her address and punched it in on my little Garmin. Went to her place, and there's this 9.9 4-stroke Yamaha laying there with the lower unit unbolted and setting aside a shed she had there. So I think at one point it might have been in that shed, but it sat out on the ground for a while because you can tell by the mold and everything. But she's a runner, and I just wanted to give a quick update on this little guy that was laying in the back of my truck the other day. So thanks for watching.